Tonight, a contentious school board meeting expected in Rockton as Hononegah High School discusses its policy for transgender locker rooms and restrooms. According to the school board's agenda for tonight, Hononegah has received multiple emails centering around unisex bathroom signs and biological male students allegedly changing in the female locker room during PE. Well, Hononegah leaders have said their policy has not changed since 2019 when the Illinois Human Rights Act went into effect. A part of that law saying, quote, a student must be permitted to access restrooms or bathrooms, locker rooms, and changing rooms that align with their gender-related identity and without having to provide documentation or other proof of gender, end quote. Well, Hononegah echoes a similar idea in its official policy manual, stating, quote, no student shall, based on sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity, be denied equal access to programs, activities, services, or benefits, or be limited in the exercise of any right, privilege, advantage, or denied equal access to educational and extracurricular programs and activities, end quote. Well, 13 WREX's Dylan Valencia joins us live from Hononegah High School in Rockton tonight. Dylan, the board meeting doesn't start for another hour or so, but are people starting to get in there and start to make their voices heard? What's happening right now?
Yeah, that's right, Derek. Well, we've actually seen a few people come in and out of the doors. It starts at 7, like you said. In the Performing Arts Center, these doors right behind us, actually this board meeting is normally held in the library, and they moved it to the Performing Arts Center with anticipation of how many people are actually going to be coming out to have their voices heard. And now we have here Miss Tiara and Kelly from State Line Indivisible. Thank you guys for being here. First off, what is State Line Indivisible for those who don't know?
We're a local group, just local citizens. We work with the National Indivisible organization, so they work to help marginalized communities and help limit any harm caused by a government that a lot of people sometimes feel doesn't represent them.
Okay, and Kelly, why is it important that you guys are here today? You guys were telling me earlier you guys could have been doing anything, but you came here to stand up for people.
This is an issue that's obviously hyper-local in our community. A lot of the leadership in State Line Indivisible is built up from parents and citizens and residents of Rockton. So this is right in our backyards that's happening, and we felt like we needed to be here to support the school. The school's actually doing a great job. They're very inclusive. They're very supportive of all of their students. There have been no complaints from any parents or students on this issue. So we're just here to show up and say, you know, Hononegah is actually doing a really good job.
Okay, well, thank you ladies for talking to me tonight. We'll have more from them on 13 News at 10. And actually, State Representative John Cabello, he shared his side and his views on all of this. Here's a little bit about what he had to say.
We don't have an issue with somebody being trans. We do have an issue with other girls having to change in front of a biological male at their age. Why we just can't ask the biological male to utilize that changing room. We don't think that that's going to be that big of a deal.
Obviously, emotions are very high tonight. We have people from all sorts of views, both sides of this situation, that are going to be here tonight. I will actually be staying here throughout this meeting. We're going to have all the details that you need to know tonight on 13 News at 10. For now, live in Rockton, I'm Dylan Valencia with 13 WREX.
All right, Dylan, thank you. We'll look forward to that report tonight at 10. Also happening now, the IHSA clarifying its stance on allowing transgender athletes to compete in high school sports. This comes about a month after Illinois lawmakers sent a letter to the IHSA asking for more information on its plans to comply with an executive order from President Trump. That order, signed in February, banning transgender women and girls from competing in female sports. The IHSA now saying following the order would break state law. Responding to state lawmakers with a letter saying, quote, the Illinois Human Rights Act requires that transgender athletes be permitted to participate in events and programs aligning with the gender with which they identify. As a result, compliance with the executive order could place the IHSA out of compliance with the Illinois Human Rights Act and vice versa, end quote. Tonight, House Republican leader Tony McCombie believes the IHSA is deflecting responsibility. She tells 13 WREX, quote, "This is not about politics, but student safety, and delaying clarity on this issue only prolongs the problem. If state law contradicts federal law, then the path forward is to work in good faith to resolve that conflict, not hide from it and risk losing federal dollars," end quote. We call on the IHSA, the Attorney General, the Governor, and all state officials to engage with federal authorities and bring clarity to this issue before a student gets hurt, end quote there as well.